Okay, we got a 1990 Craftsman tiller with a 5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine. It's getting no spark. So I'm going to show you how to go through and check to make sure to test if the coil is bad or not. It doesn't have points and condensers. Briggs did away with those in 1982. So if it's newer than that, you don't have to worry about points. First of all, I already know this one's bad, but I'll show you how to test it. First thing you want to do is check the spark. You know, there's a couple ways. I've already loosened the spark plug with the wrench. A couple different ways. You can hook the spark plug on. You can hold it next to a surface so you can see if there's spark. You know, so it's grounding, but you can still see the electrode in there. Pull it over a couple times. No spark. Sometimes if there is a spark in there, the coil might still be bad. Might be getting really weak. Another good thing to test, they sell testers like this or like this. Both of them are really good at testing because they actually show a light inside. I'll show you how strong the spark actually is. Put one side on the spark plug, the other side touching your ground. Pulled over a couple times, see nothing, no spark. And generally too, when you're checking for spark, doing stuff like that, removing the spark plug makes pulling the engine over a lot easier. Lets you pull it faster, get more RPMs on it so you can check the spark. I've already removed the 2 bottom bolts like I said. Top one's loose. I'm going to pull that off. Next thing you want to check is to make sure that it's not being grounded anywhere. That the kill switch, either the kill switch on the handle, the kill switch down by the governor isn't actually shorting out the coil. Generally it's strapped on. That right there, that's what allows you to kill the engine. Move that aside, out of the way, just stick it somewhere, put your coil back on. Tighten it up. Gap it to 20 thousandths, or the general rule of thumb is a business card thickness. You do it enough times, you can just eyeball it. It's really not that critical. Just make sure that it's not rubbing. So, with that disconnected, if the coil's bad, it will not emit a spark, period. Put the magnet right up against the coil. When you're putting the cover on, it makes it a heck of a lot easier. The cover not sticking to the magnet. I'll put a tester back on it. Ground it out. Nothing. No spark. No nothing. I know this coil's bad. So, the next step is put a new coil on. Here's the problem. The only coil I have is one off of a bigger Briggs & Stratton, like an 8 horsepower all the way up to 16, 17 horsepower single cylinder Briggs. They're essentially the same size. You know, this one's for a 5 horsepower. This one's for the bigger model Briggs. The bolt holes are a little bit further apart, and they're actually a little bit lower on 8 horsepower. So what you have to do, and also the radius is a little bit different. So what you have to do is drill a hole inside a little bit, right about where my pinky is, on both sides, to enlarge the hole so it actually lines up with these holes. And then you just got to grind off a little bit off these outside edges to widen the radius. I've already done one. Right here, you can see it. The holes are widened out a little bit. and then the bottom's ground off just a tad. There's always an outside and an inside on these. The little tab is on the inside, and the lead comes out from the outside. Generally, it'll actually say on which side's out and which side's in. So what I want to do is connect my little lead back up. Now this is only showing if you don't, of course, obviously you don't have to use the larger style coils, and there's no advantage to it. It's just what I have laying around from a blown up 8 horsepower off another tiller. Get 8,000 or get the 20,000 set in there. No rubbish. Put the magnet at the top. Make sure everything's snug. Or you got it off. Make sure everything feels good. Everything's, you know, your roller bearings, your clutch in here, it feels really good. If that has any resistance at all, take out 2 little screws, pull it off, oil it up in there. Okay, I'm going to slide this back on. I got the magnet up so it doesn't grab the side of my shroud. Put that back on. Put a bolt back in here. Now we're going to test it again. I'll slide this on. Put it on the ground. Let's try it. Getting good spark now. This lights up really good. And you can even see with a spark. Or you can do the old trick where you put the screwdriver in there and you hold it a little ways away, but I don't like to get shocked. See a spark in there? We got spark. We're good to till.